Okay, so the first thing I'm doing is I highlighted, well, first of all, I opened up my software. This is what I use, Plan Swift. I mainly use it just for the basics. I don't really use it how it's supposed to be used, um, but the way I use it works for me. So I already went around and got all my linear feet. It's right here. I already figured out that all the walls were 9'4" tall. I highlighted if they were different heights, I would highlight it a different color. So I have them all at 9'4". I have 248, say 249 linear feet. Then I have my Excel spreadsheet. So the first thing I do, I write down the materials that I'm gonna need. So we need regular block. These are the three things that you always need in a masonry takeoff. Regular block, knockout block. That's the block that goes at the very top. It's called a knockout block, lino block, bomb beam, and a half block. And then we need our mortar and our sand. There's two different types usually for this. These guys like me to, they like to order there's a mortar that comes with the sand already. That way you don't need the sand. So let's just call that, it's pre-mixed mortar. It already comes with the sand in it. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's a little bit better sometimes when you have a tight job site. Pre-mixed mortar. And this one, so the formula for this one, when you use premix mortar, what I use is one bag of premix mortar, 80 pounds, will lay you about 15 blocks. You will get 15 blocks. That's kind of like what the guys on the field get. Whatever the bag says, that's all BS. Guys get about 15 blocks per bag. That way we'll do the math afterward to see how many bags we need of that. And then I'll do one also with the sand and mortar, which the formula is a little different, obviously. All right, so we got that. Let me see. Okay, so this is how I always figure it out. Okay, so let me go back to my sheet here. So I'm gonna come up with solid count. Let me do it over here. My little math. I have my construction calculator. I don't use a regular calculator. I use my construction calculator. So here it is. So we have 100, 200. See, we have 248 feet, let's say foot, 8 inches, divided by 16 inches because each block is 16 inches. They're 8 tall, 16 inches long. That brings us to a total of 187 blocks per course. 187 blocks per course. The house is 9'4". So 9'4" divided by 8 inches, there are 14 courses in total on the house. So equals this times this. This is our solid count, 2618. So if we were to build this house, no windows, no doors, you would need this amount of blocks right here. Let me close this real fast. Okay. So now let me go back. So now I have to start deducting all the openings in order to come up with my with our actual block count. So I'll go around. This is how I like to do it with this program. I'll go here. And I already did it. Let me see right here. So I highlighted all my openings. Front, this is the front elevation, rear elevation, and then I have the sides. So I subtracted everything out already. And so I already kind of made you know what, let me go to my other sheet because I already kind of have it here, see? So this is what I came up with right here. All the openings in this house are, I don't know how much square footage, but it equals. So what I do is I'll grab the square footage. See, we have 251 plus 443 square footage, and I convert that into blocks with my construction calculator. And I came up with 781 blocks. So we're going to subtract that from our solid count. Then I'm also going to subtract the knockouts. So let me go to a sheet over here. We can better understand right here. So now I got to subtract this top course because this is a specialty block. This is what I have as a knockout block. So knockout blocks, we need 187. Same thing, right? Because it's just a top course. 187. So I put that on my order. Half block, I need 125. So I did all the math, and then what I did was I grabbed all this and I just divided it by 15. So we need 100. So this is what we need here. We need 1,566 regulars, 187 knockouts, 25 half blocks, and 125 bags of mortar to get all the block done in this house. So the way that I do the as far as the how I come up with the half blocks, I kind of look at these windows and just by experience, I kind of already know. Like, let me point at some of them. Like these right here. Like I know this is like 6 courses tall. So I'm gonna need 6 here, 6 here, 6 here. This is half of that. 3 half block here. Another 6 here, 6 here. Same thing. 6 halves, 6 halves, 6 halves, 6 halves, 6. So however many number of courses, um, that's how many halves you're gonna need. And it doesn't have to be perfect because the guys can always make them. Every small typical house like this, I was gonna have about 120 half blocks, not much. But this house right here has a lot of windows. So see, this is what I'm talking about. If you look here on an average, I mean, I don't know how high this thing is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This 8'8". But see, so every course, you have a half block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's how I came up with the half blocks. Doesn't have to be perfect. You don't want to order too many. If you don't order enough, it's okay. You guys can make them, and then in a lot of spots, in a lot of windows, the half blocks are not going to go in because depending on how the window's laid out, we call it. It's never block friendly. You know, like 1'8". 1'8" is not block friendly. I have to put a 12-inch block here. Um, I'm not gonna a half will go in. Let me see. Nope, we won't have a half here because I have a block going this way, and then I'll have 1 foot left over. So I have to cut the block into 1 foot. So that's what I'm saying. The half blocks are not critical because not every single window you're gonna need it. Because when you're doing residential houses, residential is not like commercial. When you do commercial work, they try to do it block friendly, and there's no need for cuts. But like, look at here, 2 foot 2. This is not block friendly. Block friendly is 2 feet, which would be 1.5 blocks. 5 foot 8. This is not block friendly either. And then these dimensions are going to change because the window is not really 3 feet. The window is 3 feet, but then you have to give it a rough opening for the window installer to be able to install it. So a lot of the times they'll add these 3 foot windows. Our rough opening for masonry is 38 inches. Um, the window uh, the window companies will give us all the dimensions that they need for the windows. You never get those off of the plans. Um, when a lot of guys are starting off, even homeowners do this. Um, they they don't understand that your architect is not going to give you the size of the window. Yeah, he'll give you a standard like, okay, it's a 3 foot window, but depending on the manufacturer, they're going to tell you exactly what opening they need in order for their window to fit um, the opening. So they give you the opening. You just can't go follow this. A 3 foot, like the window will never go in unless you custom make it. So I kind of know like these are 24. These are 2 foot windows. They'll come up with some weird number. And I think the guy sent them to me already. These are going to be 37, like 3 foot 1, 3 foot 1. When it comes to the doors we add 4 inches. So if this is 3 foot, 36 inches, this rough opening will be 40 inches. But for um, material purposes, ordering material, you don't really need to be exact. Um, okay, so let me see. So that's how I come up with the half blocks. And so I do my little list here. So I figured out how much block is in the openings that we need to subtract from our count. Knockouts, half block obviously is half of, because it's only 8 by 8. Now precast. Um, Precast, this are these right here. You also need to subtract these. It's a big old block called a lintel precast, precast U lintel. Um, and this architect, he actually calls nobody does this but him. He actually tells you right here how many you need. Look, 3 foot 6. You need 6 of those. 4 foot 6. And these numbers right here, they're pretty standard. They're all standard. Like there's no such thing as a 3-1, 3-4. You know, there's a 3-6, 3-6, 4-6, 5-4, 5-10, 7-6, 8-4. There's like the manufacturers have like a certain size that they all go by, and then what you do is you get the closest one. So Cascrete has a minimum bearing of 4 inches. So their lintels must sit at least 4 inches on the block. But you want 8. I mean, if you read a lot of the plans, a lot of the structural, they'll ask for 8-inch bearing. But um, so that's what those are. See, and this guy put exactly where he wants them. See, I can't. These little dots are all the lintels, and here he has 2. That's 1, 2, 1, 2. He has 2 precasts. That's why when I did my linear feet, I did my linear feet twice because I calculated everything solid count. And when I subtracted twice from these openings because I counted solid count twice in this area. That's how I came up with where's my spreadsheet? With this number precast. So all I do is Here's my precast. It's 3'6". I got 6 of those. I just calculate how much linear footage I have, and I just divide it by 16 inches. That gives me how many blocks. And then I just subtract all this. We have 154. So then what did I do? I just went 2618, which is this. That solid count minus all my deductions, openings, knockouts, precast, half blocks, which was 1154 minus 1154. It brings me up to 1464. And then what I do is I add a percentage for waste. Usually the way I calculate waste is I look at how many windows there are. There's a lot of windows. There's going to be a lot of cutting. So there's going to be more waste. So this one I should maybe do, I think I should do 10%. 10%, which 10% is a lot, plus 10%, 1610. Huh, I don't think I did. 1464. Yeah, 1464 plus 7%. Oh, I did 7% on this one, which 7%. Should I go with it? Let's give it a shot. Okay, I went 7%. So I'm just gonna leave it as is. So then what I do is I'll grab all of these. We have this, and this. This is all the block that we're gonna have on site. And this is kind of what I do. I'll grab all of this. There's 1878. 1878. And like I said, each bag will lay about 15 blocks. So let me do it here. So I go 1878 divided by 15 brings us to 125 bags of mortar. Oops. That's how much mortar we should use. All right. So then this brings the end to this part. Now, we're not done because I like to break it out. And the companies, there's several other things that you need to complete this order. But I like to break it out depending on where the thing comes from. Like I think this guy's getting this material from Preferred Materials. So they'll have this stuff. Now we got to order our rebar and our lintel screen that comes from another company. So that's why I do it like this. I'll get all this ready. Okay, I got this done. Now we got the precast, which I already have them here, and our window sills, which I think this guy gets them from this company here. I think he gets them from Cascrete. But in this area, there's the two big ones are Cascrete and Lots. Oh, and then you also have Quality. But these are the major ones, and they all have the same thing. So from them, we're gonna get all of our precast and our window sills and our rebar. So the rebar is pretty easy. When you go to all I do is I go around, which I already did on this one, and I count every single little square here, every single little dot. It's a rebar, every single one. There's a total of 72 rebars. So you can get a better understanding. That would be, oh, where is that at? Where's that page? This one right here. See the rebar going all the way down right here. Every single cell we need, we need one. So this is how you figure that one out. This one's very easy. All you have to do is, if you want to know how big, because it comes with a hook, just like this. It's not straight. It comes with a hook in order to tie. So all you do, whatever the wall height is, just subtract 4 inches. You subtract 4 inches because you want it to be 2 inches from the top and 2 inches to the bottom. That way it'll get full coverage of concrete. So it's 9 feet. So our bar should be 9 foot, 9 foot with a 1 foot bend, which is pretty standard. So I order them like this. 9 foot by 1 foot, 72. And then then we need the rebar that goes on the top of the bomb beam, the knockout. So the way I do that, same thing. I go to my linear feet, turn this off. We have, let's say 250 linear feet. I have 250 linear feet, 250. Now this one you divide by 17 because it's the number 5. The reason I'm doing that is because you have to overlap the rebar. So this is the formula that I use. So all the rebars, they're 20 foot long, standard. They're 20 foot. So you have to overlap it a minimum of say 30, 25 inches minimum because it's 48 times the diameter, which comes up to 25 inches. But usually the architect, they'll call it out. It's very rare. It's always 25. It's always better that you do more. So I usually overlap my rebars about 3 feet. So 3 feet. So when I do that, I lose 3 foot. So that brings me down to 17 feet. So that's how I do. So I just divide it by 17 and it always works out. So I got 250 divided by 17. So we need 15 rebars. We need 15 rebars to be able to go all the way around. All the way around. So let me see. Do I have that? Yep. I have 15. The reason I didn't put it over here yet because we're not done. Then the other thing you need is every single precast has to have a rebar. What it is not all of them have to have it. But what you want to do, what most guys do now, so you don't miss it, because if you don't put it in, and the inspector catches it, it's a pain in the ass. If you got to put a piece of rebar in here and you missed it, it's hard to put it in. You got to like sometimes you got to tear it apart just to get the rebar in here. So now what everybody does, the rule is, look, man, just put a damn piece of rebar in every single precast, no matter how small. It's not going to hurt anything. It's better. But you can see the rebar here, see? Rebar, rebar. Now look at this one. This one doesn't require a rebar. This one doesn't either. This one requires two. This is another thing to pay attention to also is this. So on this particular bomb beam, he wants two rebars on the top. But do we even have any of that? Turns this off. Oh, see, he does. He has it here. He has the name of them here. Let's see if we find any of them. One bottom. See if anything pops out. Nope, they're all the same. They're all A8, 1B. Where the heck is that at? The hell's that? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna put one damn piece of rebar in every single one of them. 8 by 16, 1B. So this right here, 8 is just telling you that there's a minimum has to have a precast. Just a it could be the precast by itself. 8. Like this one, you have to have a precast and a bomb beam on top of it. So it's thicker. This one's not necessary. So this house, it doesn't really matter because it's so short. But usually when you're doing a really big house, when it's really big, what it is you'll instead of just having one bomb beam up here or of course a knockout, what it is this schedule here tells you that the architect or engineer, they want to beef up this precast. So what a lot of guys miss is you'll have a lintel, and then you must add an extra course of knockout here with a piece of rebar. Guys miss that all the time if you don't pay attention. That's usually really normal in really big openings, because you want to beef them up, just like he did here, 8 by 16. Like we have to put a bomb beam on top of this precast, but this house is so low. This lintel is at 8'8". So the last course is a bomb beam, so we don't need to worry about it. We already have our, so that's that. Um, so what I do, okay, so what I do to be on the safe side, just add another 10 pieces just to make sure. Say, okay, we're gonna add another 10 pieces. Or you can sit here and you can calculate every single linear foot. Like this guy, I think, has a linear foot. He calculates all the linear foot. No, he has cubic. But like you can go around and calculate all the linear foot for all the precasts. You could literally do that and figure out, but just little extras fine. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna order an extra 10 pieces of rebar for my precast. So that brings me up to 25. 25. Now the other thing that we need is corner bars. Number 5, corner bars. So that's real easy. Obviously each corner, you need a corner bar. I think this green. All it is I think he has it's a piece of rebar going like this and like this. That way you have all your other, because your rebar always has to be continuous. Then you have your other piece of rebar coming like this, and then you just tie it here and tie it here. You see the other picture, he has a picture of it. Yep, right here. Here's the corner bar, the corner right here and right here. So we need these corner bars. That was pretty simple. We just go to our layout and we need a corner bar for every corner. So I got one there, 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 there. Then we have one here, one here, one here, here. This is a double wall. There's going to be 2 lintels. One here, everywhere. So rebar must always be continuous. It could never end. Um, Even when it ends on a wall, it usually has to go down. Like it's supposed to be continuous. Um, all right. So we have that. So how many did we come up with? Uh, 15. So we need 15 corner bars. 15 corner bars. Now the last thing, and we already have all of our precast, our window sills. The precast, just remember the precast is whatever the opening is. Like this is 2 feet. All you gotta do is add 16 inches to it because it has to sit 8 inches here and it has to grab 8 inches. So 2 feet. So 2 feet plus 16 inches is 3'4". They don't make a 3'4" precast. It's a 3'6". You just order 3'6", and then on the field we cut it to whatever we need. So, and that's what he has here on his little list. He has a 3'4" on the other sheet. So that's how you get the windowsill is the same thing. Standard size for a windowsill, I think it's like 26.5 inches, 27 inches. This windows, if it's 24, it doesn't matter, we'll cut it, but at least it's big enough. So that's for the windowsills precast. That's it. Then one last thing that we need It's going to be, let me see if he has it here in his little picture. It doesn't really have it. There's some other in other places they will. Okay, so what it is let me put it right here. We put up a lintel screen on the bottom of this. Let me see if I can find a sheet where it shows it a little better. Okay, right here. Let's just say right here. Or you know what? Let me just go to the elevation of maybe they have it here. Nope. A lot of times they show it. Let me just go to the elevation. Okay, so what it is we need lintel screen. Um, we install the lintel screen always at the end of the last course, like right here, all around the house, because you don't want all the block walls don't all get poured solid. The only thing that gets poured are the cells. Wherever there's a rebar, concrete will go, we'll fill here with concrete, but you don't want all these other cells to get, that's weight, that's too expensive. It's too much money. Um, so what we do is we put lintel screen. It's called lintel screen. You put it all the way around, and wherever there's a rebar, you cut so we can go down. And that's it. So rows are usually about 100 feet. So this is 248. 2 rows will do it. But let's just order 3 just to make sure. So put 3. I'm going to put lintel screen. 3. That's it. Okay, so we have all of our takeoff done. Um, I'm going to color these a little different. So the reason I do it like this, like I said, this material, you get it from somebody, and then this one you get it from somebody else. You don't get all your material from one person. We usually like to shop around and see who has a better price. But like these guys, a lot of the block masonry companies, they don't carry precast. They don't want to deal with rebar. Their thing is concrete and block. And then you have these companies that, that they have the rebar and they have all the other accessories. So we got this. So then that's our takeoff right here. So then is there anything else that we are missing? Not really. I think this will get the house done. The only thing, this is what, we need to order to having a job for the guys to get done. Then once we get the house done, then we calculate concrete for the for that. But I think this is good. This is all we need for this house.